coming up on Retirement Solutions Television.
We're going to talk about the unique challenges that specifically threaten women's financial security and the strategies that could help you conquer these challenges to retire successfully. Longevity is a big factor in today's retirement.
And what we want to make sure is that the good news is you're going to live a long time. The bad news is
you're going to live a long time.
You're going to run out of money. I mean, that's what we want to make sure. And when you look at this specifically, is you are watching this show and you're thinking, man, am I going to run out of money? What you need to do is start planning for longevity.
Ryan, let's talk first about how that Social Security death cliff really impacts the woman as it relates to her husband passing.
Well, I want you to think about this. No one would ever like this comment. You walk into work one day and someone says, hey, good news, you're going to receive a 25 to 50% pay cut at work.
Ouch!
That would be painful, right?
And now your hosts of Retirement Solutions Television, the Retirement Brothers, Tyson and Ryan Thacker.
Welcome to Retirement Solutions Television. I'm Ryan Thacker along with my brother Tyson.
We've got an action-packed show for you today, and we're going to start right here, right now. If you're a woman, or even if you have a wife, a sister, a mother, a relative, or a friend, the statistics are black and white. Women live longer than men. That may seem like good news on the surface, but it triggers a snowball of consequences that threatens your financial security. Because you're living longer, you'll incur more healthcare and medical expenses. You're also more likely to need long-term care, and it also means that you run a higher risk of running out of money in retirement. To make matters worse, 90% of all women will be solely responsible for their own finances at the end of their lives. So if you don't have a plan that could stand up to these challenges, you could be setting yourself up to fail. Coming up in this segment, we're going to talk about the unique challenges that specifically threaten women's financial security and the strategies that could help you conquer these challenges to retire successfully. Welcome back to Retirement Solutions TV. We're so glad you're with us. And this is an important topic, right, Ryan?
It is. There's what we call the big three. If you're watching this show and you're a woman or you have a friend who is a woman or a sister or a mother, these topics are very, very important because these three risks are greater for women than any other risk. And here's the risk. Number one is longevity. Because we're living longer, and it's a fact for all of us, women face the higher risk of running out of money in retirement, because if you're going to live well into your 80s or 90s, the bottom line is you could run out of money. Now, risk number two is the risk of what we call, it's not a very nice word, it's the Social Security death cliff. The reason why we call it the death cliff is because your Social Security may be reduced by 25 to 50% when your spouse passes away in retirement, and that can make a big deal.
The third one is, could you run out of money? We mentioned just a minute ago that if you're living longer, and the statistics say if you're a married couple, one of you should last to 85 and one of you should last to 90. If you're the wife, you have a much higher possibility of being the last one living in that couple. And as a result, you're going to have your money last much longer than it will just for you as a couple together, right?
Well, and the worst part of this is 90% of women will face the decisions of running out of money, health care, completely by themselves. And so this is why this is an important topic. And we have a special report that is the Boss Retirement Blueprint for Women. And what this will do is it'll help you understand these risks and also how to have actionable and simple strategies on how you can adjust to each one of these risks. Make a plan so that you can have confidence instead of fear when it comes to retirement.
You know, one of the reasons why we're doing this show on the concerns of women is because we feel like this is an underserved market. There are too many times when you walk through a door of a financial planning firm and, quite frankly, The financial advisor is a man. A lot of the people working at the firm are men, and your needs are underserved. You need things that you are concerned about to be talked about. And we are passionate at Boss Retirement Solutions to ensure that every question that you have gets answered and that those worries become confidence and clarity as you get closer and closer to retirement.
Our goal is to help empower women to be able to have the confidence to make the right financial decisions. Most households, actually, you've been making these financial decisions throughout your entire life. But when it comes to these special concerns and making sure that you don't run out of money, that you have a plan when the Social Security runs out, that you make sure that you have a strategy to take care of this, very, very important. And as a woman, do you ever worry about running out of money in retirement? Because the statistics are black and white. You'll face higher health care and medical expenses. You have a 7 in 10 chance of needing long-term care.
Think about that, 7 in 10.
And as a result, you run a higher risk of running out of money throughout and running through your entire life savings too soon. And if that weren't enough, you'll face many of these decisions on your own. We understand the unique challenges that you face in retirement today. We work with women in all stages of life. It doesn't matter if you're single, married, divorced, or even widowed. Let us prove it to you how we can make the most out of every dollar that you save for retirement with our Boss Retirement Blueprint for Women. We keep it short and simple, and most of all, we listen. And we want to focus on the critical components that could help your money go further in retirement. Your initial analysis does not cost you a dime if you've saved at least $200,000 for retirement. Be one of the first 10 callers right now to give us a call at 801-610-1234. Join us and we will help you get through these concerns.
Coming up next, more of the daunting challenges that face women in retirement and how to conquer them. We'll see you on the other side.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
Life, a series of moments. A touch, a look, a laugh. Successful people. It might not be superior imagination. It just might be superior retirement planning. Imagine what's next. Plan today, own tomorrow.
Call Boss Retirement Solutions, 801-610-1234.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
Welcome back. I'm Ryan Thacker along with my brother Tyson. We are the Retirement Brothers from Boss Retirement Solutions. You know, today we have a special show directed specifically to women. The statistics are black and white. Women live longer than men, period. In fact, 85% of those who celebrate their 100th birthday, the centenarians, they are women.
Now, we have a lot of great information for the men too, right?
That's exactly right. If you're a woman, this may seem like good news on the surface, but it also triggers a snowball of consequences that could threaten your financial security. So coming up in this segment, we're going to talk about the unique challenge that specifically threaten women in retirement, and more importantly, the strategies that could help you conquer these challenges so that you could retire successfully. And Tyson, we love to talk about, this is one of our favorite stories, Emma Marano. Tell us a little bit about
Emma's
this.
a great lady. She's from Italy, and she just recently passed, has been the Guinness Book of World Record holder for the longest living person on the earth, 117 years old.
117.
Think about that.
Think about that. That is amazing.
And she's got the Guinness Book of World Record certificate sitting on her credenza to prove it.
Well, and she has a very, very special diet. I mean, maybe they should start patterning the longevity diet, which is she eats 3 eggs, 2 that are raw, just like Rocky, and 1 that's cooked, right? And then she eats a cookie as well.
You know,
that's the Emma
I like
Marano
the cookie
diet.
part of
There's
the diet.
eggs in there too.
And maybe I need to lose about 25 pounds, so maybe we need to do that. But all this brings out the first topic that we shared in our last segment, which is all about longevity.
Yes.
And how important it is in relating to not only women, but everybody who's focused on living a long life. We have people come in every single day into our office that say, you know, my parents, my grandparents, we all are going to live until 90, 95. We're in good health. Our heart, the doctor just told us that our heart feels like it looks like it's a 45-year-old heart instead of a 65-year-old heart. Longevity is a big factor in today's retirement.
And what we want to make sure is that the good news is you're going to live a long time. The bad news is
you're going to live a long time.
You're going to run out of money. I mean, that's what we want to make sure. And when you look at this specifically, is you are watching this show and you're thinking, man, am I going to run out of money? What you need to do is start planning for longevity, because in longevity, not only is it having enough money, but it's also making sure that you have money for health care, making sure that you have a plan and a strategy that when if you are married and your husband passes away, what happens with Social Security. This longevity risk is a real risk, and it's going to be one of the biggest threats that you're going to face in retirement, because it's far more important than stock market risk, right?
That's right.
Everyone talks about stock market risk is a big risk, but running out of money is a serious, serious problem. So if we're concerned about running out of money, what is the first place? Where should someone start? How do you test, am I going to run out of money?
Well, you need to really look at it from an income perspective. And you also need to say, do I have enough from an inflation perspective with that income over the years?
Mm-hmm.
But
so if I'm spending $5,000 a month, right?
If you're spending $5,000 a month,
work?
you need to be looking at the future and what that means to your future. So over 20 years, you're going to end up having that income double as it relates to inflation.
Wow.
You need $10,000 in retirement. And if you've got a healthcare concern that pops up, I recently had a client who just got put on a transplant list for a heart. That is going to be an expensive proposition over the next few years.
So you want to make sure that you have a plan and a strategy. Tyson, what can viewers do?
You know, as a woman, what do you worry about when it comes to your money in retirement? Do you worry if your health took a turn for the worse that we've been talking about? It could turn into a financial disaster. Mm-hmm. Do you wonder if you need long-term care, or if you could afford it? Or do you ever worry that you could be 85 years old, full of life and flat broke? The statistics are black and white. Women face many unique challenges in retirement, and we understand these challenges because we work with women in all stages of their lives. It doesn't matter if you're single, married, divorced, widowed, you name it. Let us prove to you how we could make the most out of every dollar that you've saved for retirement with our Women and Wealth Blueprint. We keep it short, we keep it simple, and we only focus on the most critical components that are important to you and that could help your money go further in retirement. Your initial analysis won't cost you a dime, so if you've saved at least $200,000 for retirement, be one of the first 10 callers right now at 801-610-1234.
Coming up next, we'll reveal more of the challenges that women face in retirement, and more importantly, how you can overcome them. Join us after the break.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
A big difference in our lives was our dad being an entrepreneur. Our dad, from day one, we noticed that he was happy with what he did. He got along really well with his clients. He was a barber at the Cottonwood Mall. And we would sit there after we got our own haircut, sitting in the barber shop, listening to our dad talk to not only his clients, but what became his friends. And that's when we knew that we wanted to create relationships like that as well. Not too long ago, I had somebody who came and said, today was my last day before I retire. And we had a little party there. And we get to do that all of the time with each of our clients as they retire. Second thing that we love is we have these client appreciation events where we can relax, we can go to a movie together, we can do something fun where we can truly be ourselves, they can be themselves, and we just have a great time together. Ryan and I, when we got into the business, said we don't want to change one or two lives, we want to change millions of lives. Now that doesn't mean that we're going to have millions of clients, but it does mean that we have a ripple effect. And over the next 20 or 30 years, we know we'll have a ripple effect with kids and grandkids as those people retire and make a huge difference along the Wasatch Front.
watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
Welcome back. I'm Ryan Thacker, and this is my brother Tyson. We are from Boss Retirement Solutions, and thanks for joining us today on Retirement Solutions Television.
When it comes to money in retirement, women think differently than men, and for a good reason, right? Women live many years longer than men. Women face higher health care and medical expenses. Women have a 7 in 10 chance of needing expensive long-term care, and as a result, they run a higher risk of running through their entire life savings too soon. If you're a woman, or even if you have a wife, a sister, a mother, a relative, or a friend, you don't want to miss this segment. We're going to be talking about the unique challenges that specifically threaten women's financial security and the strategies that could help you conquer these challenges and retire successfully. You know, we talked in our last segment about Emma Morano and the longevity risk, and really that leads us into our next topic, which is, do I have enough? That's the number one question that people ask every time they walk into our office is, am I going to run out of money?
Well, and I think a good starting point here from answering that question is how much do you spend every month? Right. And as you look at how much you spend every month, then what you can do is you can start building a plan and a strategy. For most of you, you've been working for the last 25, 35, 45, maybe even longer, and you're used to the paycheck coming in every 2 weeks. Well, folks, I've got some good news for you. Retirement planning is really pretty simple. Retirement is just permanent unemployment, right? So if you're unemployed, one of the things that you always think about if you've ever had that terrible experience is you start thinking, okay, how much do I spend every month? And then how much do I have in savings? Well, guess what, folks? If you do the calculation when you're working and you figure I've got maybe a year, maybe I have 18 months worth of savings that I can burn through before I need to get a job, you're going to need to plan for the next 20, 30, maybe even 40 years. We plan at Boss Retirement Solutions to age 100.
Well, and it's shocking, really, how many people don't think about the income piece of this.
Exactly.
Right? Everybody focuses so much on what's going on with the market. Am I up? Am I 12% up this year?
That's right.
They focus on how much they're accumulating instead of how much could they turn into real spendable cash.
That's right.
And so as a result, they then, as the market tanks, let's say that we have another 2008, where most of you lost 30, 40, maybe even 50%.
The 401k becomes a 201k.
That's right. That's right. And as a result, then you start draining money out of that bucket at the same time.
Yep.
Maybe you need $50,000 in retirement every single year, and you have another downturn, you never get your money back.
That's right.
And so there's got to be a plan as it relates to longevity, as it relates to now running out of money as well.
So here's the strategy. Here's what you need to do. Figure out what your lifestyle is, how much you're spending every month. Then come in and we will run a test. We call it the stress test. On the stress test, we will actually test how long will your money last in retirement when we include things like inflation and healthcare. And what this does is it creates peace of mind, because for a lot of the families that we run this test on, they're running out of money between age 82 and 85. Well, if you live until 100 and you run out of money at 85, that's not a very fun 15 years. You realize the average Social Security check is about $1,250 a month. And that's going to be, on average, about a third of the income that most families need. Well, what about the other 2/3? Where's the money going to come from? And with this analysis, we can help create actionable strategies that will help you with that.
So as a woman, do you ever worry about running out of money in retirement?
That's a good question. And because the statistics are black and white, and you will face a higher healthcare and medical expense in retirement when it comes to planning. So you have a 7 in 10 chance of needing long-term care. And as a result, you run a higher risk of running through your entire life savings far too soon.
Now that's just scratching the surface, right?
That's right. And if it weren't enough, just looking at those things, you'll face many of these decisions on your own. We understand the unique challenges that you face in retirement. We will work with women in all stages of life. It doesn't matter if you're single, married, divorced, or even widowed. Let us prove it to you and let us help you make the most out of every dollar that you save for retirement with our Boss Retirement Blueprint for women. We keep it short and simple. And most importantly, we listen to your concerns and needs. And we only focus on the critical components that could help you make your money go further in retirement. Your analysis is not going to cost you a dime. So if you saved at least $200,000 for retirement, be one of the first 10 callers right now to give us a call at 801-610-1234. Again, that's 801-610-1234.
Coming up next, we'll reveal the consequences of living a long and prosperous life as it relates to Social Security. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you after the break.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
It's your retirement. How will you live it? How will you be remembered?
Will you be able to take me on vacation?
Will you be there for my ball games?
Will you teach me your values? You'll be able to play with me?
Oh, help me go to college. How will I remember you?
Have the retirement you dream about. Ask BossRetirement.com.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
I'm Tyson Thacker, and along with my brother Ryan Thacker, we are the Retirement Brothers. Welcome back.
If you're a woman, or even if you have a wife, a sister, a mother, or a relative or friend, listen up. It's a fact. Women live longer than men. That may seem like a good news on the surface, but it triggers all kinds of consequences that could threaten your financial security. Because you're living longer, you'll incur more health care and medical expenses. You also have a 70% chance, that's a big number, Tyson,
70%,
of needing some type of expensive long-term care. And this also means you run a higher risk of running out of money in retirement. Coming up in our final segment, we're going to talk about the most important one when it comes to looking at your retirement, and that's the challenges that come along with Social Security. We'll talk about strategies that can help you conquer this challenge that face many women in retirement so that you can retire successfully and with confidence.
and you mentioned it's the most important. The reason why we feel like it's the most important and what we wanted to end with today is quite simply because everybody receives Social Security. Everybody has this as a piece of the equation, but most people don't understand the consequences that happen if you take it wrong, at the wrong time, at the wrong place. If we have this Social Security death cliff, there's so many different places that we are concerned about as it relates to Social Security. Ryan, let's talk first about how that Social Security death cliff really impacts the woman as it relates to her husband passing.
Well, I want you to think about this. No one would ever like this comment. You walk into work one day and someone says, hey, good news, you're going to receive a 25 to 50% pay cut at work.
Ouch.
That would be painful, right? But the reality is, if you do not have a plan for this and you are married, this is what happens when a spouse passes away in Social Security. Because what happens is if you're receiving, let's use an example, let's say that a wife was receiving $2,000 a month from Social Security and her husband was receiving $1,000. You put those together, that's $3,000 a month that you're receiving from Social Security. When one of you dies, it does not matter. What's going to happen is you're going to receive the larger of the two paychecks. So we went from $3,000 a month in Social Security down to $2,000. That's a 33% pay cut.
It's a big pay cut overnight.
And when does it happen typically?
It happens when the spouse passes, and this really adds to another layer of complexity to the plan that if you don't plan on correctly, you're going to be left so short, and it happens at all the wrong time as you get to the place where inflation really makes a bigger deal in your retirement.
Think about it. If you're 82 to 85 years old, your earning power at 85, probably not super high, right?
You're not going to be able to go out and work a full day.
Unless you're Emma Morano that was 117 years old. You know, they're probably not going to hire you. So this is something that you need to plan for, and that's why we give it a very unkind name, the Social Security death cliff.
We want to wake you up,
Sounds
right?
terrible, right?
We want to ensure that everybody understands that this is a big deal. Another piece of the equation that everyone needs to think about as it relates to a couple is, let's say that the example is switched, and the husband has $2,000, the wife has $1,000. What happens as far as the spousal benefit?
So the spousal benefit, you know, it's going to go away. You're going to lose one of those checks. And so that's why you have a big drop. You go from the $2,000 for one spouse, $1,000 for the other, and that goes away, could be even worse. But let's continue this example on. Let's say that both of them are receiving $2,000 a month. So we have $4,000 a month coming from Social Security. When one of them passes away, boom, it's now down to $2,000. So in other words, we just received a 50% pay cut.
And one of the most important things that I want you to get out of the show today is to ensure that if your mom or your sister or you as a spouse wonder if you're taking the most Social Security that you can get, you need to make sure that you understand that you can get the higher of the two benefits, and that's going to make a big difference all through retirement.
That's right. And so as a woman, what do you do? And when you think about retirement, what can you have as a strategy? Because do you worry about your money in retirement? Do you worry that if your health care took a turn for the worse, it could turn into a financial disaster?
Do you wonder if you need long-term care or if you could afford it? Or do you ever worry that you could be 85 years old, stressed out, and flat broke? The statistics are black and white. Women face many unique challenges in retirement. We understand these challenges because we work with women in all stages of their life. It doesn't matter if you're single, married, divorced, and those are some other situations that we didn't even get to today. Let us prove to you how we could make the most out of every dollar with your situation with our Women in Wealth Blueprint. We keep it short, simple, and we only focus on the most critical components that could help you and your money go further in retirement. Most importantly, this initial analysis won't cost you a dime. So if you've saved at least $200,000 for retirement, be one of the first 10 callers right now at 801-610-1234.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
You're on the back nine heading for the clubhouse. Your dreams of spending time with family and enjoying retirement are just within reach. What happens if you end up in the rough? In these uncertain times, it's crucial to be prepared with sound advice. Boss Retirement Solutions is one of Utah's premier retirement planning specialists. For a complimentary consultation, call 801-610-1234. Boss Retirement Solutions. Plan to retire well.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
Thanks for watching today's show. If you'd like to start a conversation, give us a call or go to our website. We'd be happy to talk to you.
Remember, retiring successfully doesn't happen by accident. We'll see you next week.